The government is asking for enormous fees for access to information documents related to the persecution of Calgary Pastor Artur Pawlowski for the crime of opening his church to his willing congregation when the government said it must be closed. Yes, I was slapped with a 4-figure bill for documents. I will get them, but only with your help. This isn't the first time the Alberta government has sent me a big fee to block me from asking questions about their treatment of pastors and congregations who obey God's laws and God's commands over that of men. It's actually at this point becoming a little bit of a pattern. Now, last week I told you about how the provincial government, quite specifically the Ministry of Justice and Solicitor General, has put in place a paywall for documents and information relating to the ongoing prosecution or persecution, depending how you look at it, of Pastor James Coates of Grace Life Church west of Edmonton. Now, for those of you who don't know, Coates and Grace Life Church garnered both international attention and months of police and Alberta Health Services harassment and surveillance after the pastor there and the congregation refused to comply with public health orders that would limit the church attendance to just 15% of fire code capacity and force congregants to wear masks and social distance. Grace Life said that this was a violation of religious freedom, expression, and assembly. The whole affair resulted in the arrest of Pastor Coates twice, wherein upon the second arrest, he served 35 days in Edmonton's maximum security remand center, unable to agree to bail conditions that would require him to limit his church attendance. However, in the interim, the church just kept meeting with Associate Pastor Jake Spence at the pulpit. So then Coates was released after a deal was struck, and the province moved in to seize the church property for 3 months, forcing the congregation to meet in secret. Now, when I asked for government documents about how the persecution of Grace Life came to be and what happened in the aftermath, I was hit with a nearly $2,000 bill to discourage my curiosity. You know me, the opposite has happened. I know there's something there for me to see now, and I'm going to find it, and donors to rebelinvestigates.com are helping me do that. And that's why I kept asking about the other pastors being brought to their metaphorical and literal knees through the tip of the Roman spear here in Alberta, like Pastor Artur Pawlowski from Calgary. We've all seen the viral images of him on his knees in a SWAT-style takedown on a Calgary street for the crime of reopening his church. That resulted in 2 days in jail for him, and if you've been following the case, you'll know. The province is asking for 21 more days in jail from Pastor Art for contempt of the court order the government used to close his church as a, quote, illegal public gathering. Now you can see the full story, see all the updates from the lawyers, and help fund a fulsome and aggressive legal defense of Pastor Artur Pawlowski and his brother David at saveartur.com. That's saveartur.com. Now my colleagues K2 and Adam Sos in Calgary have been working overtime to cover the plight of Pastor Art and his congregation. They're doing a great job, but I wanted to help them, doing one of the things I think I do well around here, and that's access to information. So, naturally, I asked the Alberta government to provide copies of all documents, including emails, texts or instant messages, Slack messages, WhatsApp messages, memos, briefing notes, correspondence, reports, etc. Basically everything regarding Pastor Artur Pawlowski of Street Church in Calgary since January 1st, 2020, until when I asked for these documents on May 21st, just a couple of months ago. And instead of receiving documents, I received a fee estimate of nearly $1,250 to get access to 1,040 pages, wherein I would have to pay a government worker about 35 hours to prepare those documents for release to me. And the government wants about $625 of that amount immediately. I need to tell them if I want these documents by August 3rd. We are going to pay it begrudgingly while appealing the costs. But here's where I ask you for help. Can you help us offset the costs? We don't get government bailouts to ask boring questions you at home don't even care about, to politicians who aren't even remotely scared of us, to create content you would never pay for if you had a choice in the matter. We rely on the support of people like you at home to help us. If you'd like to help me find out what the Alberta government was saying about Pastor Artur Pawlowski and his brother and his church before, during, and after they arrested those two men and held them for reopening their congregation, please donate today at rebelinvestigates.com. And thanks again to all of you at home who have already donated to help us hold the government, all governments, to account on behalf of the people. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. The Alberta government has slapped me with a $1,250 bill to get access to their internal messages, emails, briefing notes, and documents regarding their persecution of Pastor Artur Pawlowski of Street Church in Calgary. I'm going to get those documents, but I can't do it without your help. If you can help donate to offset the cost to get access to these documents, please donate today at rebelinvestigates.com.